welcome to Live Interactive English. My name is Winnie.
Hello, everybody. My name is Shane. How are you today, Winnie?
I'm very excited because our topic of the day is the Legends of Sanxiantai.
Oh, I like legends. Do you know any legends that maybe you can tell me about?
I do. I just recently learned of this one, which I'm sure the audience is probably well aware of, which is the legend of Ho Yi.
I'm part of the audience. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, do you know how many suns there are right now?
Well, you mean in our galaxy?
Our solar system.
Solar system?
Yeah.
Solar system, we have one sun.
But not before.
Really?
So legend has it that there used to be 10 suns.
10 suns?
And the reason we only have one left is because of, the greatest archer in all of China, which was Ho Yi. He was noticing, the villages were burning up because it was so hot. All the crops were dying. People were dying of thirst. He came to the rescue. He shot down 9 suns, and now we have just the one.
Okay, so there was just 10 suns making it way, way, way too hot.
Yes.
And since he was an amazing archer, he just said, you know what? I'm going to get rid of 9 of those suns.
Yeah.
And then the weather became good.
Good.
It's still pretty hot in Taiwan. You think maybe Ho Yi can maybe shoot off a piece of the sun?
Like half of it? I'll talk to him later.
Yeah, if you could talk to him, I'd appreciate that.
Which brings us to today's topic, another legend that we're going to introduce to you, the Legends of Sanxiantai.
Okay, let's look at it.
Sanxiantai is a place rich in stories and folklore. The small island is dominated by 3 giant rock formations that scientists argue were formed hundreds of thousands of years ago by volcanic activity. However, according to legend, these rocks are the footprints of 3 immortals who rested on the island during their travels. As such, Sanxiantai translates as platform of the 3 immortals. Older indigenous beliefs, meanwhile, claim the island was home to a sea dragon that punished those who treated the land or sea poorly.
Okay, so the Legends of Sanxiantai.
Right, so we have this word legends in our title, and it basically means a tale or traditional story or a story from a really long time ago.
Okay.
So, for example, you could say, according to legend, a giant used to live in this forest.
Spooky.
Right. So legend doesn't necessarily mean like it's factual, it's true. It's just a story that back then, there's not a lot of ways you could explain something, like why there's a big rock in the sky at night that lights up. So they would,
Are you talking about the moon?
I am.
Okay.
And so people would find creative ways to explain it.
Yeah, so typically legends are not true.
Yeah.
Really, yeah. Okay, let's continue on with the reading. Sanxiantai is a place rich in stories and folklore. The small island is dominated by 3 giant rock formations that scientists argue were formed hundreds of thousands of years ago by volcanic activity.
Okay, hold on. Let's go back.
Let's go back to folklore.
Yeah.
Okay, so folklore is just like, it's
Tales.
Tales or stories that are told by people.
Right, mouth to mouth.
Yeah, because folk can mean people.
Yeah.
And folklore is just kind of like stories.
That
so
are
it's
passed,
stories passed from person to
around
person.
a fire.
Oh, around a fire, exactly.
What about dominated?
Oh, yeah, so dominated. So if we say the island is dominated by 3 giant rock formations, that means that it's basically taken over by these 3 giant rock formations. So when you go there, that's what you see.
Right.
It takes over the whole place.
The big show.
Yeah, it dominates it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So continuing on, however, according to legend, these rocks are the footprints of 3 immortals who rested on the island during their travels.
Oh, okay.
So first of all...
So the rock formations are footprints?
So you're probably wondering what immortals are. And an immortal is basically a being that never dies.
That's right.
They live forever, or at least a very, very long
If
time.
you're immortal, because to be mortal means that you can die.
Yes.
If you're immortal, that means you cannot die.
You can't die
so
no matter what you do.
Forever.
Yes, exactly. And so that's where this makes this a legend and not a true story. Because, well, as we know, well, I don't think there are real. Yeah, as far as we know, there are no real immortals. But we're talking about these immortals leaving these footprints.
Yeah.
That's how they used to explain these formations. So continuing on, as such, Sanxiantai translates as platform of the three immortals.
Oh, okay. Platform of the three immortals. So a platform is something that you kind of like stand on, right?
Yeah. Like kind of like when you go to the MRT station, you stand by the platforms, not on the tracks.
Okay. So translate, what does it mean to translate as something? So this is a verb. It means to express the meaning of speech or writing in a different language, right? So, for example, you could say the Spanish word adios translates as goodbye in English.
Right, you're transforming something from one language to another language so that we can understand it. Right. So continuing on, older indigenous beliefs, meanwhile, claim the island was home to a sea dragon that punished those who treated the land or sea poorly. So it's interesting to see when they were coming up with these legends, their first thought is to think of it's the outcome of a being or a creature.
Right.
So at first they think it's a
mythical being,
right,
a mythical creature.
They think it's an immortal, and then now, the indigenous people, they say, well, we think it's a sea dragon.
Sea dragon.
So I think that's very interesting.
Yeah. Okay, why don't we take a break and find out more?
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。今天的课文是关于三仙台的传说。三仙台这个地方有着丰富的故事与民间传说。那它主要是由3座巨大的岩层组成。科学家认为这些岩层是数十万年前由火山活动所形成。不过根据传说，这些岩石则是3位仙人在旅途中他们在岛上休息的脚印。那三仙台意思就是3位仙人的平台。至于古老的原住民信仰，则声称它是海龙的家园，会惩罚那些不善待陆地或海洋的人。我们先来看看单字 legend。Legend 表示传说或是传说故事，这时候可以当可数或不可数名词用。那么这个字也可以表达传奇或传奇人物，那这时候是当可数名词用。老师们提到传说内容往往不是真实的，那这时候用到 factual 这个字。Fact 后面加上 ual， 那可以形容是事实的、真实的。下一个单字 translate 或是念作 translate， 它可以表达在另一个语言中意思为什么什么，或是表达翻译。另外文中它用到 immortal 来指永生不死的人，那在希腊罗马神话中万神殿的神奇也可以用这个字表达。在这边我们则是指这个民间传说里面的仙人。好，那这个单字它当形容词的时候 immortal 就可以形容长生不死的、不朽的，而它的相反词 mortal 则可以形容是会死的、终有一死的或是致命的。那这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。这边我们来学习 those who 加动词的用法。Those 在这边当代名词，用来指那些人。然后我们用 who 引导形容词子句来修饰这个先行词 those， 去表达那些怎么样的人。Those who 加动词用来当主词的话，要记得搭配复数动词哦。举例来说 ，Those who were born under the sign of Pisces are known for being imaginative. 双鱼座的人以富有想象力而闻名。句子里面 those who were born under the sign of Pisces， 双鱼座的人用来当主词，所以我们后面是搭配复数动词 are。接回到课文中。 Whatever the true story may be, Sanxiantai is certainly an interesting place to visit. The island is connected to the east coast of Taiwan by a 400-meter-long bridge that has become a famous attraction in its own right since it was constructed in 1987. The Bagong, or Eight Arch Bridge, allows visitors to safely cross the water to Sanxiantai while taking in fantastic views of the sea. The island is free to visit and offers a 2-hour hiking path that shows off Sanxiantai's natural beauty. However, the environment here is delicate, so guests should remember not to litter or damage the island in any way. The platform of the Three Immortals should be treated with the respect and care it deserves.
Okay, so just to recap, we were talking about Sanxiantai, which is basically a small island, and it's scientists now believe that it's just from volcanic rock and volcanic activity that made these formations. But according to some legends, it could be the footprints of immortals, or it could be a giant sea dragon, depending on which folk tales you're listening to.
Yeah, I personally love hearing legends more than true stories anyway.
I like folklore.
So continuing on with the article, whatever the true story may be, Sanxiantai is certainly an interesting place to visit. The island is connected to the east coast of Taiwan by a 400-meter-long bridge that has become a famous attraction in its own right since it was constructed in 1987. So not only is this natural place a really great, attraction, but the bridge itself became, its own site.
It's really cool. The bridge looks really cool. It almost looks to me like a sea dragon.
Yeah, so it kind of makes the whole folktale of the folklore of the sea dragon being there. That's kind of makes sense now.
So attraction is a noun. It's an interesting or lively place to go or thing to do. So for example, you could say the Eiffel Tower is one of the most visited attractions in the world.
Right.
So this is an attraction that people go to in Taiwan.
Yeah.
Another famous attraction would be like Taipei 101.
Taipei 101 is probably the most famous attraction.
Probably the most famous one in Taiwan.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's cool because it's not only is the rock formations, the attraction, now the bridges too.
The bridges as well. Okay, continuing. The Bagong, or Eight Arch Bridge, allows visitors to safely cross the water to Sanxiantai while taking in fantastic views of the sea. The island is free to visit and offers a 2-hour hiking path that shows off Sanxiantai's natural beauty.
I'm a little scared of bridges, but I think I can set that aside because this just sounds really cool.
Okay. What, you're afraid of bridges because you're afraid you'll fall off or something?
Get blown off, the bridge collapses. I don't know, I'm very anxious. So continuing on with the article, however, the environment here is delicate. So guests should remember not to litter or damage the island in any way. And damage meaning break or, cause harm to. And we have this word delicate. It is our adjective. And it means something fragile or easy to break, and you have to be careful when you're handling it. So for example, you should take care when handling the ancient vase as it is very delicate. And I think anytime we go to natural attractions or parks, there is a spoken but unspoken rule. We leave it better than we did when we found the place. So, no taking cute little cuddly animals, that you shouldn't, or you shouldn't litter.
You shouldn't litter, or if you do see some litter or something,
pick it up.
Pick it up,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Do our best to try and keep it beautiful.
Okay. Continuing along, the platform of the Three Immortals should be treated with the respect and care it deserves.
Exactly.
Right? Just like, any natural beauty, like place that you go to visit, you should treat it with respect.
Right.
Right? With the respect it deserves. So to deserve means to do something or show qualities that mean a particular reaction, reward, or punishment is appropriate.
Right, so it's not a good or bad thing. It's just when something deserves something, it's, hey, you got what you deserve.
Right, you got the right reaction for what you did or for what happened. So for example, you could say all children deserve to be loved.
Right. So what do you think, Shane? Have you ever been to Sanxiantai? If not, would you like to go?
You know, I have never been there. I've only seen pictures of Sanxiantai. But yeah, now that I've heard about it and seen the photos, it's a place that I would definitely like to go and visit.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not a big fan of bridges, but after you hear all of this folklore and legends, it's always cool to see the origins of where these legends come from, because it's not often that you get to see a place that is related to a legend.
Yeah.
So I think it would be very cool to go and check it out and set aside my fear of bridges.
Yeah, it's cool when you go somewhere and now you have a little bit of knowledge about the history and legends there. So when you go there, it's going to be a more rich experience.
Yeah, exactly. You kind of put things into perspective. But that's all we have for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
刚刚我们有提到三仙台的传说，还有提到科学家的看法。那无论真实故事可能是什么，三仙台肯定都是个有趣的造访地点。这个岛呢，是由一座400公尺的长桥来跟这个台湾东海岸相连。而这座桥本身就是个知名景点哦，它是由8个拱桥连接而成，让游客可以安全的跨海登上三仙台来欣赏美丽海景。不过课文提到这边的环境非常脆弱，游客一定要记住不能乱丢垃圾，或是以任何方式来破坏这个岛。三仙台应该要得到它应有的尊重和爱护。最后我们来看单字 attraction 它表示景点或者是具有吸引力的人事物。那么 delicate是形容脆弱的、娇弱的或是易受损的。Winnie 老师这时候用到 fragile 这个形容词 ，fragile， 也有人念作 fragile， 那它是形容脆弱的、易损坏的。下一个单字 deserve， 它是动词，表示值得或者是应得。那 Shane 老师这时候有提到 punishment 这个字，就是在 punish 后面加上 ment， 那这个名词表示惩罚、处罚或是刑罚。这边2个重点，我们进入文法时间。我们来看第一个重点是 whatever 主词加动词的用法。Whatever 在这边相当于 no matter what， 用来引导让步副词子句，只说无论什么，不管怎样。例如 Whatever you do, don't open that door。 也可以说 No matter what you do, don't open that door。 不管你做什么，不要打开那扇门。好，那么第2个重点是 take in 的常见用法。第一种呢，我们可以用来表达观看、欣赏，可能是欣赏风景啊、看电视、电影等等。例如 We sat on the beach and took in the view。 我们坐在沙滩上欣赏景色。第2个用法是表达领会、理解，像 There was too much information to take in， 有太多资讯让人无法吸收了。好，那么以上的今天讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。 Sanxiantai is a place rich in stories and folklore. The small island is dominated by 3 giant rock formations that scientists argue were formed hundreds of thousands of years ago by volcanic activity. However, according to legend, these rocks are the footprints of 3 immortals who rested on the island during their travels. As such, Sanxiantai translates as platform of the 3 immortals. Older indigenous beliefs, meanwhile, claim the island was home to a sea dragon that punished those who treated the land or sea poorly. Whatever the true story may be, Sanxiantai is certainly an interesting place to visit. The island is connected to the east coast of Taiwan by a 400-meter-long bridge that has become a famous attraction in its own right since it was constructed in 1987. The Bagong, or 8-arch bridge, allows visitors to safely cross the water to Sanxiantai while taking in fantastic views of the sea. The island is free to visit and offers a 2-hour hiking path that shows off Sanxiantai's natural beauty. However, the environment here is delicate, so guests should remember not to litter or damage the island in any way. The platform of the three immortals should be treated with the respect and care it deserves.
This park is so beautiful. I've got to take a selfie.
It really is such a nice park.
3, 2, 1. Did you just photobomb me?
Photobomb? Is something going to explode?
No, Winnie. It means you just got in my photo.
Sorry, I just couldn't help myself.
Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about the term photobomb.
Yes, photobombing is when someone unexpectedly enters the camera's field of view while a picture is being taken, usually making a silly face or gesture.
It's a humorous way to prank your friends when they're taking photos.
Like what I did to Shane earlier.
Yes, exactly, but not humorous at all. Now, let's look at some examples of how to use photobomb.
Sure. So for example, you could say, I was trying to take a nice photo of the sunset, but my brother photobombed it.
I'm not your brother. Or, my cat loves to photobomb my pictures. She always jumps in at the last second.
I can relate to that. So next time you're taking a photo, watch out for photobomber.
That's all that we have time for today. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.